Hello, so this is a short video where I'll be showing you how I solved one of the question that was actually asked in the technical interview of Uber. So it's pretty simple, it's an easy question. So over here they asked you that you are given two strings, one is S and the other one is ST, and you are supposed to figure out if S is anagram to T or not. For those of you who don't know what's anagram, and we can only say a word is anagram to another word, I mean string, if both of them contains the similar number of letters, and also if the letters are same. For example, if I say my first letter is bus, I need to have a word which is gonna have bus. I mean the second word needs to have 100% bus, then it can be anagram. So in one word we need to make sure both of the words have same number of letters and the letters are same. So if one has 2s, the other one needs to have 2s, and vice versa. So my solution is over here. I'm not gonna of course do it in front of you. So what I've done is that that's the boiler code. So over here we can see we have defined our function, which is the is anagram, and what it accepts is it accepts itself, and it accepts s, which is one of the parameters, accepting as a string, and the other one is t. That one is t as well, and the output of it is going to be boolean. So that's all we know right now. So we have to figure out our solution in such a way that whatever inputs we are getting, based upon that we need to come up with a boolean value, which is going to be true or false. It's going to be true when it's anagram, and it's going to be false if it's not anagram. So as I said to you before, in order for one word to be anagram to other word, what you need to do is that you first need to make sure both of them has a similar number of characters in it. I mean similar number of letters. So what we're doing over here, we at the very first we have an if condition over here. What we're checking is that the length of s is equal to the length of t. If this is the case, then we actually go in depth and figure out if it's anagram or not. If it's not, we say our function that forget about it, we're not gonna work on it anymore, and return false to the user at the very moment, because we know one word cannot be anagram to another word if in case it doesn't have the similar number of characters in it. Okay, so after we have figured out that both of them has the same numbers, we go in and check the characters for each of the words, for each of the letters in the word S and T. So as you can see over here, we are running in a loop. Over here, we are checking in for all the elements in S. S, I mean, is this one. We check if it's the number of a particular letter in S, which we can find out using the function built-in function of Python using count. So for example, if we think about this particular test case, if we have R as a first letter in S, we are first counting in the number of R this has. So in that way, s.count x, it figures out the number of R it has. So it's going to be 2 on this side. And on this side, we are also calculating the number of R it has using this inbuilt function of Python, saying that t.count, and then bracket we are using x. Over here the x value is going to change depending upon what element we are in while looping it. So what happens is that if in case a particular letter is not, the number of count of a particular letter is not same as the other letter, which we are doing it over here using an inequality check, we return false. If it's not, what we do is we return true. So if in case by the number of letter of if the number of letter in the particular word, it's not same on both of the words, we return false. And if in case all of the count of all the letters in the particular word is the same, we return true. So in this way, this small function, it will be able to figure out if a particular word is anagram to the other one. So already if we run the code, you can see that both of the test cases has been accepted. That means our function is completely acceptable and correct. Now I will show you something which is a bit more complex. We're gonna use HashMap for it. So I've done it in both ways, and by the end of the video I will say you why this is probably the better way for you to do in your technical interview if you get this question in your interview. So over here we're gonna be use HashMap. So as you can see is that it's the same boilerplate code we have over here, and the first same like before. We do check if the number of letters in both of the side is the same. I mean S and T, the strings. If it does, then we go on to the function because that's the only thing we are actually checking first. If it doesn't, we basically say no. We're gonna return a boolean value, which is the false. And what we do is over here is that we declare two hash maps, which is count S and count T. That's how you declare hash maps. So for those who don't know what's hash maps are actually key value pairs. It's more like a dictionary. So if we have, for example, in dictionary, if you go to the index page, if you look up for the value, for example, looking for programming, it would say you the pages in which it actually define the pages in which programming could be found. So it's basically a dictionary. So like before, what we do is that we actually run a loop, but in this case the loop serves a different function, different reason. We find the number of times a particular letter has been used in that particular word, and then we save it as a value in relative to its particular key. So for example, same goes with the first test case scenario. If we have got race car and car race, what we do is that over here what this loop does is that it runs in what this loop does is that it comes up with us with a list like this. So the values you're gonna get out of from it is gonna be 0, 1, 2, 3. It basically depends on the number of letters you have got over here. When you have got the number of, when you got the indexes, basically this gives you the number of this gives you the index. So when you put this on the as then indexing to the particular location, for example, if we have 0, it's gonna give R, and when it comes to giving probably 1, it's gonna give A. So we're just coming up with the value of the letter on that particular word. And what we are doing over here is that we are saving up the value of value. We are saving the value of it in corresponding to its key. So for example, if it's R, when we loop R first, we're gonna, if there has been no R before, because we are looping through all the letters in both the words, which is S and T. And every time we encounter a particular R, it's gonna say that hi, because over here see how we have set it up as a 0. So count s dot get, it's actually one of the HashMap function. Using get, you kind of find the value of the particular key. So for example, it's gonna see if there has been already any number of value for the particular letter. If there is not, it set up the 0 as the default value. So over here, as you can see, for example, if there has been no R before, it's gonna set it up as 1 because our default value is 0. But when it comes to one of the last letters, if we encounter one R again, we just do +1 because our previous value was already 1. In this way, we save up the number of times that particular letter has been used in that particular list, in that particular string, and save up as a key value pair. And what we are doing over here, see how it actually matches like the way we did it over here. We were figuring out if the count is the same. We are doing the same thing over here, but over here you are manually also checking the dictionaries for both count S and count T, I mean the hash maps. And what does the hash map count S and T have? It's basically a key value pair where we are saving the value as the particular letter, I mean the key as a particular letter, and the value as the number of time it has been defined. And by if in case it's not the same, I mean the hash maps, it's not the same for both of them, we say that return false, like the way we did it over here. Say how we return false over here, if in case it's not the same. Over here we are also counting it, and if in case it's the same, we return true. Now you might be asking me why we did use count as dot get and then bracket c comma 0. So this was something I was a bit confused as well. So by in case, for example, your both of the string has same number of digits, but what in case one has a part, both have like unique number of letters. So in that case, what we're gonna do is that if like before, for example, t has a particular letter which s doesn't, but you would like to get the get value out of it because we don't have any get like a value record for that particular unknown letter. We just use dot get and insert the default value as 0. In that way, when we match it, we already at least have, for example, if it's x which doesn't actually appear in one of the list, we would at least have x comma 0 and 0 being the value for that particular key. uh, and the last question is that why we're using HashMap. The main reason is that it gives you better time complexity. And but the thing is that the storage complexity is not as good because you're defining two of the hash maps, so you need to look after that as well. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you loved the video and keep on sticking to my videos in order to see what I come up with next. It's gonna be another programming videos, and see you pretty soon. Thank you. Bye.